Okay, this video is basically just the fact that I've had these really amazing cameras. I have two different GoPro 8s, and I don't actually use them that much. I just got this one in the mail, but I don't actually use my cameras that much. I really wish I used them more, and so that's the reason why I'm making these. I do a lot of really cool projects. Like over here, you see that I'm refinishing a antique dresser with a mirror that's over here. You can't see it right now, but I'm refacing the entire thing, taking the old varnish off and this old paint and everything, and fixing it, repairing it, making it look new and making it look really nice. I've done a lot of other projects in the past that family and friends seem to really enjoy, but they never get to see the progress and the actual process and everything. So I thought, I have these really nice cameras. Why not make something that they can see it? They can see the whole entire thing. So mainly this entire thing, whenever I make videos in the future, it's not only just for myself, whenever I can look back and see the videos and enjoy doing the project again by watching the video, but also I can send a link to somebody that's family or friend whenever I send them a photo and they say, oh, that looks so cool. Do you have any videos? I just send them the entire YouTube video that I'll edit all together, because I also too, I don't work on the projects like consistently. I jump from project to project all the time. My mother and I would work on projects and we jump around all the time. Like the fact that we were working on this, and then we decided that we needed to clean the entire garage, and then after that we got in the lumber that is from this tree that fell in my grandmother's yard. But I'm just saying the fact that we're jumping from project to project all the time. So we'll work on it one day, and then maybe 2 weeks later we start working on it again, and then maybe a couple months later we start working on it again. And this just kind of keeps going and going. But that's okay. I still enjoy doing the projects. I have a lot of fun doing them. So what I'm saying is the fact that if I did this, then I can just add all the videos together and make it look kind of like it happened all in the matter of a couple days, when it probably happened in like 6 months. But yeah, so I hope that you enjoy these also too, for the fact that any other woodworkers that are out there that watch these, I love woodworking. I always have. I've found a lot of good information from other woodworkers that are out there on YouTube. And so I would like to also pass any knowledge that I have, and also learn from anybody out there that wants to send any type of information. I've learned a lot, and I got inspired by a lot of different woodworkers out there. And so maybe if I'm lucky, there's one person out there that watches any of these videos that I hopefully will put out in the future, that they themselves enjoy. They learn something, or they get inspired to make something else. So I hope you enjoy this stuff, and let's get on to the first project. All right, so basically the very first project that I want to do in here is the fact that I do have these two really nice cameras. I have one that's literally just sitting on a tripod right now. I think they call the tripod the shorty, basically, because it's a small tripod that's maybe like the length of your finger, but it extends as well, so it stands up a little higher. But I also have this other one, and I thought what would be kind of cool is to get an aerial view. Now, if I grab here, you can see this is the table, all right? This is what we're working with. This is a table actually that was from my parents' workshop that they had before, and we sanded it down, and we actually burned in the logo into this. This is something that we actually did by hand, and I really am proud of it. It looks awesome in my opinion. But my thought was the fact that this piece of wood that we put up here to attach a lot of these screws and nails and everything underneath, it's a pretty thick board. So I could attach something to it. I can screw something in right here about. That's my thought. Instead of putting it dead center, because of the fact that if I put a chop saw in here, the dust will fly up and it'll get right into the camera and maybe even damage it. So putting it off center over here might do a little bit better. All right, so basically the very first project that I want to do in here is the fact that I do have these two really nice cameras. I have one that's literally just sitting on a tripod right now. I think they call the tripod the shorty, basically, because it's a small tripod that's maybe like the length of your finger, but it extends as well, so it stands up a little higher. But I also have this other one, and I thought what would be kind of cool is to get an aerial view. Now, if I grab here, you can see this is the table, all right? This is what we're working with. This is a table actually that was from my parents' workshop that they had before, and we sanded it down and we actually burned in the logo into this. This is something that we actually did by hand, and I really am proud of it. It looks awesome in my opinion. But my thought was the fact that this piece of wood that we put up here to attach a lot of these screws and nails and everything underneath, it's a pretty thick board. So I could attach something to it. I can screw something in right here about. That's my thought. Instead of putting it dead center, because of the fact that if I put a chop saw in here, the dust will fly up and it'll get right into the camera and maybe even damage it. So putting it off center over here might do a little bit better. All right, so I just pulled this spare piece of wood that we have lying around in our little wood bin. We have a bin over in the corner full of old pieces of wood that we've had from other projects, and I thought this would be a pretty good little piece that we can cut off and try to make somewhat close to size. So I think this will work, at least temporarily. If I ever decide to make it actually nicer and put something prettier, I can do that later, but this will work for now. All right, so basically now I just need to measure the face of this so I can figure out how big to cut the square, so that way I can put it on here, but it still has a little bit of a lip. So that way the holes aren't right on the edge. It just destroys the wood. Although it's never gonna like fall down or anything like that. It's just the fact that I just don't want the holes to be really weak. So we gotta measure that out and we'll cut from there. Okay, so we got it all cut up. It's pretty good on the size. If you look really closely, it matches up pretty good. I think it's doing pretty well. So I'll mark where the holes need to go, drill a little hole, and then we'll find some bolts or some screws or something, and we'll just attach it. Then comes the part where I have to figure out how to attach the little plastic piece. Not this one. This one stays onto the camera, but the piece that this thing attaches to onto the piece of wood. I'm thinking of the fact that I have a bunch of them. I can literally just I can drill through one of them and attach it with a screw. Something like that. That'll probably be the easiest and quickest way, but if there's a better way that I can think of before then I'll do that. But so far that just seems to be the easiest way to do it. And whenever I get that attached, then I can attach it up here. And then we can actually do a different project, something that's actually more fun, not just adding a damn camera. All right, so I just went inside to actually grab a couple pencils because the ones out here were dull. But also while I was in there, I decided to get the piece that we're going to be using to attach to the piece of wood. So that way it'll stay up there all the time. And then I can detach and attach the camera whenever I need to. My thought was to attach it with a screw, but I also noticed I forgot the fact that on the back it comes with this type of adhesive sticker on there. So I'm wondering, honestly, if it will just attach to the wood. We can try that first, and I'll try that for a while. But more than likely, after a while, it might start to kind of come loose. So I'll probably have another time where, again, I'll make this into a compilation video, because I'll probably be advancing this or even replacing it after a while, and I'll just make it one video instead of making it like 12. But yeah, I'll probably just stick it with a sticker for now. If it starts to fall apart, then I will drill a hole through it and attach it with a screw. That should work though. So let's do that. Okay, so I don't know if it's because this thing is like really old. I've had it for years and I've just never used it. The sticker won't come off, or maybe I just suck at pulling off the damn sticker. But it's not coming off, and also too, I decided to look it up just to see why the hell this thing isn't coming off. But basically I found out that this type of sticker is like super sensitive to like dirt and all that other crap and everything. So it'd probably just be easier for me anyways to just drill a hole through it and put a screw into it. So I think that's what I'm going to do for right now. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so actually I was making this a hell of a lot more complicated than it needs to be. I forgot that I had this piece, this type of attachment. It has a little screw end on the side, but underneath it, it has a threaded insert. All right, so basically what that means is if I just drill all the way through it, I can put a long enough screw into it and I can just tighten it down and it'll be a permanent attachment right there. So I don't need to drill through this and try to find a screw, as you saw, that would just fit just right, because I don't even have that type of screw. I don't have it. So we're gonna just do that. I'm just gonna drill a little hole, find a bolt or something that we have that will fit it. Hopefully we have one. And then all I would have to do then is actually attach this up onto the piece of wood and we'd be done with it. The whole project for this would be done. So let's do that. Okay, so basically my entire plan, the entire time I just kept messing it up, or I didn't have material for it or something like that. But basically this is how it ended up. It works right now. So first off, I decided, like I said before, I was gonna put a screw through the back because I found this other mount that has a threaded insert. So that made it easier. So I had to find a screw that would actually work, a metal screw, obviously, because it needs to go into the metal threads. So I had to do with what I got. It's just basically leftover pieces. I don't have a lot of metal screws. I got more wood screws. So I found ones that actually would fit in the thing, but it was too long, so I had to cut it. Then I accidentally cut the first one too short. So I got the second one and I cut it again a little bit too long, but instead of, going back and cutting it multiple times over and over and over again, I put a couple washers inside of it on the back side. Then on this attachment, the one that it was the original piece, for some reason when I tried to directly attach the GoPro 8, for some reason the teeth weren't getting tight enough to actually hold it. So I have this little extra piece that just extends it so you can have another little arch on it, and whenever I put the two together it does hold it tight, so this will work. So the next thing to do is reattach it back to this and then find a good position up on the shelf. I'm thinking off maybe almost 45-degree angle to it. And the project is done. We'll be done. Finally done. Oh my God, this took a lot of steps wrong, but it'll be all worth it. Let's get to it. All right, so that's it. That's the whole thing, at least for now. I might decide to move the camera to some other location, more towards the center or something, because I am noticing the fact that as it's hanging there, that the camera is slightly off angle. Although I can probably just move the bolt, slightly tilt the bolt, and that might readjust the camera as well. But there's a lot of things I can just mess around with. But for now, it looks awesome. It really does. Here, actually, while I'm thinking about it, I really do want to try to move the bolt, because this is what it looks like right now. The camera is at a clear angle, and that just seems a little bit odd. So let's see if we can change that real quick. All right, so just as I thought, the fact is that if I just slightly tilt the bolt, it will allow me to straighten the camera out. So that's another thing that's going to be really cool about this. I can get a lot of different angles from this, but it's the fact of getting an aerial shot over whatever I'm working on the table. So in the future, this is going to be really cool for some of the different projects that I work on. So yeah, I hope that you like the way that it kind of came out. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. It's just a real cheap thing. It was free. I had it laying around. Why not use it? So yeah, as I do projects in the future, I'll probably be using this spot more often. So you'll see a lot of aerial views and whatnot. Basically, it's going to look a lot like this. So it'll be pointed down at the table. You'll get an overhead view of what's going on. Or if I decide to point the camera, it'll point towards the different areas of the garage. But basically, it'll be pointing down at this part of the table. So I might or might not move it sideways, a more straight down shot. But currently right now, I like where it is. We'll see how it goes. I might change my opinion, but I like it so far. Yeah. I know that the videos that I did was probably really crappy and whatnot, but it's not meant to like entertain the masses. It's mainly just for me, my friends and family, if they want to watch it, and anybody out there that just so happens to be looking for this weird thing, some woodworkers out there. So any fellow woodworkers, hi, how you doing? But I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be making some more videos. I might even make this better. I might add something more to it. I might get another one. I have no idea, but we'll see. But yeah, till next time.